One of the things, Juice, that Mark had told me when he was kind of making that introduction of kind of about who you were was your relationship with Draymond Green. And I know you had the chance to, and everyone knows who Draymond Green is. Multi-time NBA champion, a core part of kind of this Warriors dynasty, one of the best defenders of this generation of the NBA. But I know you were around him a lot, especially early in his career. I guess what can you tell us about maybe how that relationship came about, and what that experience was like for you?
Well, I think it's pretty much on the record on how it came out, but pretty much, man. I My cousin played professional football. I played for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Lamar Woodley. I started working with him about 10 years ago. And it was just one of those situations where I moved out to Pittsburgh for a year and then moved to Arizona. And then he ended up getting signed to the Oakland Raiders. And throughout that process, man, I will always be sending gear to Michigan State. And I was like, who is this gear going to? He's like, I got a little family member down there that I just like to take care of. And at that time, he was a Jordan Brand athlete, and so just imagine getting 20, the 10 to 20 pair of shoes sent to your dorm, and the whole time I found out, his going into his rookie year, the guy that I was sending it to was Draymond. And so,
Mm.
being connected through him, through my cousin, and that whole Saginaw. I had my family's from Saginaw. My dad, they're from Brownsville, Tennessee, but by way of Saginaw. And so, having a lot of just friends and family from that area, I think it made the connection a little bit more sweet. And so when we finally connected at Lamar's football camp in Saginaw, we kind of hit it on. And I think at that time he was kind of looking for some basically some good people to be around him at that time. And so we just kind of hit it on, man, and just kind of took off from there.
And Draymond has a very strong personality, like in the media, and we know kind of his persona on the court. Very very vocal, not afraid to call guys out or get into guys' faces, and we see him as he's gotten older have more of a presence in the sports media space. But as someone who really got to know him, especially when he was younger and just coming into the league, I guess maybe what can you tell us about what Draymond is like, maybe a side of him that people don't really get to see, that they only see Draymond, the basketball media personality.
Well, I think I can truly say, like, what you see is kind of what you get. Far as like, how vocal he is, the personality that he has, him being outspoken, that's pretty much, Draymond. And I think that comes from, how he was brought up, his family, his mom, his uncle, all of those people that's been in his life, he's been like that, you know what I mean? And so from a positive side, I think, he's a person that, he grabs a lot of energy off of friends. And so a lot of people don't know that, you know, he needs friends to kind of perform at, the highest level, and that's how it was throughout the whole entire, playoff series is that, will be grill outs. I need all my boys to come in town. We need to be together. And so he gets a lot of energy from friends, but he's outspoken. And I think all his friends, including myself at that time, I think we all had like our own little ways of being outspoken. I remember they used to tell me all the time, like, man, Juice, you just say all types of shit. You don't care what comes out your mouth. You just say it and just walk off. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
you look at him, he's kind of the same way. Then you look at some of the other homies, they all had their own, like, they just gonna say it, and whatever, however you take it, it's on you. And so, just being outspoken, that comes from from where I'm from as well. My mom was very, communicative to a lot of people, but I think I picked that up just being a part of my family and just watching how people communicated. So it's not a bad thing. I think sometimes you can find yourself in some trouble by some of the stuff that you're saying. And I
Yeah.
think that's what we see at times with Dre. It's just, some stuff you just shouldn't say. But hey, when you're brought up a certain way, you don't want to change. And I think he's honored, his family. I think he's honored, where he's from by just being who he is. And I think that's a good trait because you see a lot of guys switch up. You know, it's just
Hmm.
like, just be who you are. You know, sometimes it'll get you far, sometimes it won't. But as long as you can live with knowing that, hey, I was who I was from day one, you can't go wrong with that.